5 to 20, 30 minutes, whatever, in the tunnel where we can fly and hold these shapes for long enough where you can really get a muscle memory, you know, that exists all the way through your body where these shapes are less foreign, you know, so your flight becomes just like anything that you can train, regardless of how mechanical or repetitive as it is. Human beings learn through repetition. There's many different levels of fear with sky surfing. It is intense, it is extremely focused, and it is like your childhood fantasy, you know, all at the same time.
The first time the public saw sky surfing, it was an immediate draw. And I really think that it was because of the board. People relate to boards, surfboards, skateboards, snowboards. It's part of our culture.
Really, the trippiest thing about it is, you know, you're standing on your board, and because there's nothing relative, trees, a house, a light, anything, and then when you start to spin fast enough, you know, it actually looks like you stop spinning and the world starts spinning.
In the evolution of skydiving, sky surfing really is the one discipline that has elevated the camera flyer to new heights. Because once we started competing together as a team, now the camera flyer is required to perform as much as the sky surfer themselves.
We thought that it would become the next big sport. Obviously, that was our hope and our dream. And it was big for a few years, and then free flying kind of was the next thing, moving into position as sky surfing opened the door a little bit to the public side, and free flying was right there with it.
I believe the body was built to fly on its head, right? I mean, everything makes sense about it. Free flying, to me, is like the ultimate feeling of flying.
We can actually fly. We can actually choose our direction and our speed, and we can move in an imagery cone, okay? If we jump out of the plane, we can go vertical, or we can move like more or less, if we are very efficient, is a 45 degrees angle without any special suit, just with your body.
You can move so far, so fast, with so little effort.
You are super free to stay in one place and move super fast to another one.
I think it's the coolest feeling in flying because you can move around, you can put yourself in any kind of body position you want.
Maybe catch a cloud if you can.
The speed, you're feeling the speed, and you can control that speed, and it's pretty effortless once you get the hang of it. You can change from 180 to 120, back up to say 300, just by changing your orientation around. You can be on your back, on your belly, on your head, on your feet.
The camera angle for free fly is anywhere because the dive is spherical. The camera is part of the dive. The camera is also an artist. You have two artist flyers and an artist camera. That was free fly.
Your overall awareness has to be multiplied, because not only are you trying to skydive, capture the skydive, frame the skydive, you also have to be aware of everything that's going on around you, especially when we're talking about doing skydives with large numbers of people, up to 400 people at times.
And wingsuit flying What really gets me is just the idea of flying like a bird. You know, you get in this suit and it's pretty restricting because you have so much stuff and you have so much fabric, but at the same time, the actual sensation you get when you're flying is much more like a bird soaring over cliffs, and you really feel the deceleration in your vertical speed and the acceleration in your horizontal. For me, I really just get that feeling like, gosh, you know, this is what birds must be feeling when they're out there flying. With canopy flying, speed's our friend, just like an airplane. You know, the faster we come in, the softer we can land.
Yeah, no problem! Yeah!
Now, they got these canopies that can open very, very soft, which increases the longevity of the sport, and they fly very, very fast. When you're in free fall, you're really just relating to the people you're flying with, so it's all very relative. But when you're canopy flying and you're getting down on the ground, you have all this visual sensations because things are racing past you, so you're really seeing the speed, and that gets your heart pumping right there.
And it's really amazing if you meditate or dissect that short time, the things that are happening in your brain. You're very focused on the path ahead. You can see how close your wingtips are to the rocks and the waterfalls. And especially if you're flying with a teammate, you're multitasking all at the same time. You know, you're trying to stay with them, and that in itself is a challenge, even in the open sky, but now you're doing that in a small area, a confined area, moving really fast, and you're also aware of everything that's happening all around you. You're just trying to learn how to deal with all of these sensations and stay focused at the same time.
You see the ground rising up, and when you hit that power band on the canopy, it's like nothing else. You come zinging out of that thing, face gets kind of pushed back from the air, you can hear the wind change, and then once you drop that toe in the water, it's like nothing else.
Some people think that base jumping is all about cheating death, or they make it sound like you're trying to kill yourself, just doing crazy things. But I think if you ask any base jumper, that they'll tell you that it's not about cheating death, but it's about celebrating life.
Jumping to me, it gives you that sense of freedom that I can only almost compare in a way to religion. The closest I have ever come to understanding or being to God is when I jump. That feeling of enlightenment, that feeling of being one with nature, in touch with nature, that feeling that I have inside of me, I could understand that that's what very religious people feel when they go to church and when they pray and when they feel that they have that connection to God. I have that connection every single time I jump.
Base jumping isn't a physical activity, it's psychological. It's a philosophy. It's not about just jumping off a cliff. That's a physical act. What's going on in your mind before you jump off that cliff? What's going through your mind as you jump off that cliff? What goes through your mind as you land? You know, that is what it's about. It's about the psychological effect it has on you as a human being and what it means to be something different than what you actually are.
So you're standing on a ledge, and just as you've already made the commitment to go, and now you've taken that last step, and you can't take it back. And so your senses get very keen. You start to hear the quiet sound of the wind, and it slowly starts to increase. You start picking up speed, your body starts to feel the wind. You start to see the wall moving below your feet, quicker and quicker. You're picking up speed. From the pit of your stomach, you just feel like you're just dropping. You just let go of something. There's nothing that you can change other than enjoy that feeling and enjoy the ride. And you know that you're gonna come out of it as soon as you open up your parachute. It's a kind of interesting feeling because it's a transition from fear to ultimate enjoyment.